You're watching the Brotherhood of Gaming, and this is an in-depth sort of analysis of what we have just seen. For everybody who doesn't know, the brand new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer has been released, and it's a gameplay trailer showing us a little bit of what to possibly expect within the game that's still currently in development, as far as some of the special powers, maybe some of the summons, and just some of the really cool stuff to expect. And I've got, of course, Gene here with me.
Hi everybody. Ready to check out some Kingdom Hearts 3 goodness. It's about damn time.
Yeah, it's been 7 years. My God.
Really? I thought it was longer. It
I don't
felt
know.
longer.
It feels like it's been an eternity. So yeah. So unfortunately, it never came out for the PlayStation 3, but here on the PlayStation 4, it's definitely happening. It's all too real, and it is here. So yeah, now we have a gameplay trailer just to expect what the graphics are going to look like. Now, what's the first thing you notice about it, Gene?
Well, the first thing I notice is that when I'm looking at the graphics, it feels like a cutscene from Final Fantasy 13. Only that's the gameplay. You know that even with PS3, how the cutscenes just they look a little sharper than the gameplay.
Oh yeah.
That's what the gameplay looks like. I mean, it's really impressive. Everything just looks like it's cut from the CGI cutscene.
Yeah, the cinematic
from
CGI,
Final
like
Fantasy 13, except now it's part of the gameplay. It's very impressive.
yeah, like when you get close-ups on the character, like when they're on the train and you get like a close-up of Donald and Goofy in the background. It sort of looks like you remember the beginning and the ending from Kingdom Hearts 2, the CGI cutscenes. When you see that, it looks like that.
Yeah, it's one of the things about video games that the cutscenes have always looked better than the gameplay itself. But now it looks like the gameplay graphics have finally caught up to the cutscene graphics, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and do you feel like that has sort of kind of diminished games a little bit? Like, remember back in the day when you saw a cutscene, it was an event?
No, not really. No, I'm actually. This is what I've been looking forward to. I've been waiting for that time where the gameplay looks as good as the cutscene. I just kind of felt like this is all positive. I mean, graphics are not the most important thing in the world to me, but if you can match it, if you can, I'm always in favor of enhancements and technical steps forwards and leaps forward, and this definitely looks like a leap into that direction. Where when the PS5 or the PS6 come out, man, the graphics are just gonna look like real people. I feel like we're heading toward that, where it's gonna be like, man, it's actually gonna be like a movie, like we're playing a movie.
Yeah,
It feels like we're heading toward that direction.
Yeah, it really does. And one drawback, of course, that is known by me is because since they're doing this, it also means that development time takes longer.
Well, anything like that is going to take a while. I mean, basically, producing a video game is like producing a movie now. You have your pre-production, your production, your post-production, and movies often take about a year or two or so to be made. So, yeah, it's one of those things where we might end up waiting longer, but hopefully it'll be more.
Yeah, hopefully the
wait.
payoff is worth it. So
Right.
it seems like when they're going to make titles like these, and you're going to go with a bang, such a big broadcast, you got to make it big. Like, you can't make it look this beautiful and give like 6 hours worth of gameplay. Like
Now, I also don't fool myself. I don't believe for one second that every single PlayStation 4 game is going to look like this.
oh no,
Yeah, it's kind of like the thing with
the Unreal Engine.
Metal Gear Solid 4. How epic and advanced that was. Yet, very few games can be put into that category. This is definitely one of those. But when you have a AAA title, it should look something like this. It should feel like a huge event.
Oh yeah, because it's no secret to a lot of people out there that developers, like whether it be Kojima Productions or Platinum Games or Square Enix or like really big time developers, you come to know that they've developed their own system when it comes to creating these things. They don't rely on third party systems like the Unreal Engine.
Right.
To carry their game while they develop around it. They create it from scratch.
Another negative thing too is that these games are going to be really expensive. Don't you think? Maybe we're gonna, like every game's now is gonna be cost like 70 to 75, $80 a pop.
I hope that's not the case. I honestly don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what the pricing is when the PlayStation 4 actually comes out.
I'm
But
probably gonna wait and get my PlayStation 4 until Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out here in North America. Just to let you
probably.
know.
Yeah, so as far as the Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay trailer goes, the first thing you notice is, of course, you immediately see that we're in Twilight Town.
Right.
Very reminiscent, very familiar place ever since Kingdom Hearts 2. And first thing I noticed is how graphically updated and beautiful and a lot more detail they've put into this town. Like, you can see a lot more detail into the bricks and the styling. And if you look at the walls, you can see the texture on the walls. They've even gone out of their way to add like vines and like moths growing around like the forest area. Like
I like how the the health pictures, and on the right bottom right hand corner, the heads are moving around.
yeah, that's interesting.
Just nice little touches. As far as gameplay, let's talk a little about the gameplay though. It looks very familiar. I see like commands and lock-ons and all that stuff.
Yeah,
He's
interesting
wearing
to
his Kingdom
note.
Hearts 2 outfit.
Yeah,
You
interesting.
know,
Yeah, it's interesting to note though. Like, this might be what we might getting, but at the same time, it looks like they kind of just threw it on there just to give you the feel. Because if you notice, when Sora is using his fire attacks, his MP gauge is not going down.
yeah, that's true.
But
Another
weirdly
interesting
enough,
thing that happened is when his Keyblade transformed into two pistols.
yeah, two pistols that have like
Yeah.
a star, and also when that happens, if you look on top of the if you look on top of his like a command gauge, when that does happen, it he gets like a what do you call that? Like the style changes, and it looks like it's called the two shoot blaster.
Yeah, I kind of wondering, kind of like maybe hints off the fact that maybe in this game the Keyblade will transform into different weapons, like maybe like a bow staff or a scythe or
It's quite
nunchucks or
possible.
something
These were
like that.
abilities. These were abilities that the Birth by Sleep characters were familiar with. So this for him to be able to wield like weapons, the other weapons, or at least turn his Keyblade into weapons, might be an example of him after he saved Aqua, and maybe she taught him how to do that. And
I like the fact that he really looks like a young adult now.
yeah, he definitely does look older, which I like because kids, you know how it is with kids saving the universe. So
Yeah.
I do like how these kids are aging.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing I noticed with the two shoot blaster ability that he has when he pulls out the guns is if you look at the top of the two shoot blaster, it looks like a badge, like a star badge, like kind of looks like Woody's badge.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So is that kind of a hint that maybe there's a Toy Story world in this one?
Yeah, that is a possibility. That's one of the things that people have been asking for. When are the Pixar people going to be involved in this?
And another thing, I want to go back to the bobbing heads, like you said. Also, I think that's really cool because all we've seen up to this point is like they just put like little pictures of the characters with like whenever they get hit or something, they just kind of put on another picture where they're like frowning or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really nice to see that they've got like bobbing heads, and maybe it's early in development. But yeah, they'll add like the emotion later whenever they do something. Like whenever you see Sora like make an attack, maybe he'll get like a grr face on.
Right.
So yeah, that's interesting. It's not really. I'm not sure what the EX gauge right above Sora is for. So far, it hasn't been used for anything. Maybe it's a possibility that we might see the different forms again.
That's possible. Maybe it will drain down. Depend on a certain power. It'll how big the gauge is will determine how powerful the attacks are or how long you can sustain them.
Yeah, and of course, like you see the Heartless that he's fighting. It's the pretty generic Heartless, but I noticed that like the shadows, yeah, they're taking a lot of hits to kill. I noticed like it takes like quite a few combos just to kill.
Well,
like,
again, like I said, when you watch this thing, there's no 100% guarantee that this will actually be in the finished product, and maybe like a little taste of what of what might be to come.
It's true. One thing I also have noticed is I'm familiar with the area, what we're seeing in Twilight Town, and if you look on the wall where the vines are, you notice that the opening is not there, and the opening is where you would it was where you would go to the forest and you would head to the mansion.
Right.
Yeah, it's been sealed up.
Hmm.
So I don't know if we'll see the mansion again. Um, so it's just interesting to point out that that's been covered up. Now we've also been introduced to something else. Now I don't know if it's a summon or a special ability, but you saw the pirate ship from Disneyland. From the it looked like it was shrouded in the electrical parade.
Yeah, this is something you see, and yeah, I could not see something like this being done with the current technology. The lights and the reflections and stuff, it just really stands out. So, I mean, visually, it's very pleasing to the eye, and it's also very creative. Then once again, using that Disneyland, you know, history to their advantage. I don't know if this was like maybe like a mini game or something, or a reaction or something like that, but visually, it is going to be a treat to play.
Yeah, what I like is the effect when when Sora does the pirate ship. The sky turns like a dark black, or at least very dark, to show that it's nighttime. And there have been like some people saying that could it be possible that there might be concepts of day and night within the worlds of Kingdom Hearts? Like maybe there might be
maybe
a
day and night will change.
Yeah, like I
that'd be
honestly,
I've always liked that in Tales games when day transforms into night. So it'd be nice if they had some
it'd be nice to think, but honestly, I don't think that that's the case. I think that that's just part of the attack, because the electrical parade only does come out at night, and
True.
whenever, yeah, of course, you want to make the colors look more vibrant, and you want to make it show that it's come to life. So why not do that in the dark?
Right.
So that might be just part of the summon.
Yeah, I'm also taking a good look at the water too. I mean, again, it's the whole scene is very pleasing to the eye. The splashes and the bubbles and the bright lights, how they reflect off each other. So yeah, it's very beautiful to look at.
Oh yeah, each individual splash as it just goes everywhere. Like the technology really has increased. Like now, as we go into the next portion of the gameplay, when it shows the Rock Titan from Hercules.
This kind of bothers me because I'm saying, oh great, we're going back to Hercules Land.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I don't think we're gonna be like I'm fine with going back to the Hercules Land as long as it's not the generic Colosseum.
Right.
Like if we actually do get.
Well, that's very true. We only stayed in that isolated place in the Colosseum.
Yeah, and this is what I like. This is what I like to look at so far, because if you look at the area where the train is, it looks like Mount Olympus.
That would be cool. We were there in the Colosseum for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And 2 we went to Hades' Realm. So yeah, it would be pretty cool if we explored other areas. But still, at the same time, I wish that it was focused, or at least, well, again, like I said, I just hope the game introduces more areas and more worlds, because there are other worlds out there that have not yet been used in the Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah, and well, the thing about the Hercules world is what's going on around it is, being that you're riding on the train, just going around everywhere. It might be possible that we may see all of the Titans climbing on Mount Olympus, and your goal is to fight all of them.
Well, it does remind me of when you fought the Hydra.
Oh yeah, in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah. Oh man, could you imagine this kind of scene if you were fighting Ursula? Swimming all around her. Really, instead of in Kingdom Hearts 1 where we're just fighting her face, if you actually could, if you were swinging all across her giant body, trying to get hits in, trying to find weak spots.
Yeah,
that would be pretty epic.
Yeah, that would be something. Now, one thing I've noticed is that you are in control for the most part when you're in the train, and like you said with the Hydra fight. The thing about the Hydra fight is when you were on Pegasus, you basically had the reaction commands that would pretty much do it for you, and whenever you press the triangle button or the reaction command, like, you were safe. Like the game did the rest. But it seems like with here, you have to call the timing. Like when the Rock Titan makes a swing for you, you have to call when to do the attack that's going to deflect his arm off of you. You got to make the call when to jump out of the way. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be pretty cool, because even though the reaction commands were awesome, they did kind of make the game a little easier, because whenever you did the reaction command, you were safe.
Right.
you did something right.
Right. You just had to be quick on it. Because
Yeah,
if you weren't, those reaction commands would save your life easily.
yeah. So
Because
it
you
is
wouldn't
nice
need them.
that the reaction commands in a technical term are still there, but they're not. They're not right there to say, "Hey, press me, stupid," otherwise you're going to get killed. You have to make the call. And one thing that's also interesting to point out is when the train is going around the level. If you look at the magic mountain gauge, which is right above the attack commands, there are parts where it cuts and literally cuts to other parts of the gauge. So it kind of
Yeah,
makes,
I noticed that. It's like decreasing.
well, yeah, not just that, but like it's cutting to the point where I think that the developers edited out some of the footage because it's possible that with the train flying around everywhere, it might spoil something about what's going on around this mountain. So maybe at certain angles you might see another Titan climbing up the mountain, or we might see something else from Hercules' world that we're not supposed to see yet.
I'm looking at a shot right now where the train is zipping up high in the sky, and it's high above the Rock Titan. One thing I always like, or in video games, is depth. The sense of height, the sense of vertigo. It really gives a feeling that they're really flying up high in the sky.
Oh
And
yeah.
it really shadows are very important, and again, it adds to the intensity of the scene. I really enjoy that. It's a nice touch. It really kind of pulls you into the moment.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer more, and I'm just watching this the whole train sequence in itself is really something to look at. Yeah, just there's really just a lot to go on. It's hard to say. It's hard to cover it all because you don't know what you're probably missing or. It,
Well, one thing I will say is that it does look very interesting. It does look very fun to play as. Um, it's only a minute and 36 seconds, but I am very impressed. Again, not sure if this is actually going to be a part of the gameplay itself, or if it's just a little tidbit. But with the power that this has, hopefully if the gameplay matches it, it should be quite an experience.
it really should. The graphics alone are a testament to how big this game is going to look.
Right.
And of course, like the gameplay and what the hub menu that we might see right there might be tacked on just for the effect of showing like this is a possibility of what the gameplay might look like. I don't think the graphics is something that they can really fake at this point.
Hmm.
Yeah, so overall, I think if anything, the look is just going to be so massive and it's going to engulf the player into the world. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. The only thing I really hope for is I hope that they really get creative and more dynamic with the worlds,
Right.
and
Yeah, it
because
would be
regardless
it
of
would
how,
be kind of a letdown if we just go back to the same spots that we've been in, the past two games.
oh yeah, well, not only that, but like some areas I wouldn't mind revisiting if they told a story that was necessary. Like, of course, Agrabah was kind of a world that people don't want to go back to, but if they told like the story of Aladdin and the King of Thieves, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a
No, if
new
you're gonna
story.
go back to these other places, you have to tell the stories.
Yeah, tell other stories. Let's see now. Oh, I forgot my train of thought. Shoot, hate it when that happens. But
I love how he's flinging the Keyblade around when he's fighting the Rock Titan.
yeah, I like how that like you've got to time it. Like you really
Right.
do, like whenever he's making that punch, like how you see that big swirl come around the train. That's the
Right.
player reacting to the punch, and you got to time it. Otherwise, I think the train takes damage, or I don't know, probably gets punched off the rail.
And when the Rock Titan gets hit, you see bits of rock flying off him.
Yeah, overall, it just looks incredibly massive. Like, yeah, I would like to visit New Worlds. Oh, yeah, my train of thought. Um, like, even if we do go to New Worlds, one flaw that I particularly didn't care too much for in the past Kingdom Hearts games, and Birth by Sleep was incredibly guilty of this, was even though you got to see these new worlds, they were very empty.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to be more bustling with life.
Because it's like when you go to the Sleeping Beauty world in Birth by Sleep, there's nobody there. Like this world is vacant. Like you go into the castle, you go into the castle bridge, and like the area is huge. Like it's a really big massive area, but there's nobody in it. It's totally deserted. and you really do feel isolated and alone on this world. And it just kind of, I mean, it's cool to see the world in its likeness, but it still kind of feels lonely. Like I feel like I really am the only one here,
Yeah, it
even though
doesn't feel like it doesn't feel big or like you're saving a whole world.
yeah, it'd be nice to see
You need
some.
to see people in there, and
Yeah, it'd
hopefully
be
they
nice to see
will
some NPCs running
show
around.
that. I will say this: if they do include Star Wars or Marvel, it would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it would be interesting, like to see, because especially with what we just saw with the train
Hmm.
going on right here. Like, imagine seeing something like this on Mustafar, with the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Absolutely. Oh shit! Excuse my language. Or imagine the final battle scene in Avengers. You're flying around, you're fighting all these aliens. In one section of the city, and yeah, in every section of the city, an Avenger joins you. And then you finally have your big boss fight with Loki at the end. And that'd be a real fun sequence.
Yeah, since the game is still in development, I'm not sure how far along they are, but it's at this. I do believe at this stage of its development, it's very possible for them to implement quite a few elements from other franchises that are owned by Disney, be it Marvel or be it Star Wars. If not
Pixar.
levels, there definitely could be items. Like I definitely could see Captain America's shield.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, being being a weapon for Goofy. Heck,
Being a weapon for you, yeah.
yeah. What would be interesting is like,
Oh god, I was thinking. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, Captain America and his shield and his outfit for Goofy. Donald would have Thor's hammer, and Sora's suit would look like Iron Man. That'd be really funny.
now like hear me out on this one. Like, obviously, we can clearly see that Hercules' world is still here. So it's a fair bet to say that the Olympus Coliseum might still be there as well. Just because they have a world there doesn't mean that it won't be. But I really hope that we do get a full-on Hercules world and we get to play out the story. But it would also be nice to have the Coliseum there as well, just to have a side quest. Now, if they don't have a Star Wars world, what would be cool is if they at least put like a secret boss. Like they had Sephiroth be a secret boss in the Coliseum for Kingdom Hearts 1. They had the Ice Titan be a secret boss. What would be cool is if one of the secret bosses was Darth Vader.
That would be nice. That would be nice. One other request I have is that in this game, at some point, lightning has to make an appearance.
From Final Fantasy
Um,
13.
I would even be okay if she was like the only Final Fantasy person there. Well, there are gonna be Final Fantasy characters there.
Oh yeah,
but
I'm sure Leon, Yuffie, and Aerith will be
definitely
back.
above all else, lightning must be in this. She's kind of become like the new face of Final Fantasy. Say what you will about the games, but she as a character is pretty cool. And so Lightning definitely has to make an appearance. Maybe she's searching for her sister or something, and she runs across Sora, and she gets mixed up in it. So Lightning definitely has to make an appearance in somewhere in this game.
Yeah, but overall, just with the whole gameplay trailer, I am very impressed with what I see. If not just the gameplay, just the visual impact it has is so amazing. And it's always that sort of fulfillment when you get like a brand new console and you play a brand new game for the first time and you just see how much the visuals have improved. Like, remember back when the PS3 was brand new and you first played Heavenly Sword?
Yeah.
That was big.
Oh yeah, that's Heavenly Sword was the reason I got the PS3. When I popped that in, I'm like, man, I can immediately feel the difference. That's what I want when I play Kingdom Hearts 3. I want to feel that difference. I've developed kind of a love-hate relationship with Kingdom Hearts. The first Kingdom Hearts game I ever played, you let me borrow, was Kingdom Hearts 1. I just wasn't feeling it at the time. I wasn't really into it. Later on, I kind of dove in myself when Kingdom Hearts 2 came along. That was the first game I played all the way through. Loved it. Went back, played Kingdom Hearts 1. Loved that too. I played Rechain of Memories, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. I know it's a good game, but it just wasn't for me. And then I got really taken out of the series when it started appearing on all these other consoles. And that's when I really kind of drifted away from it. But you know,
Yeah, in all honesty, do you feel
when this
like
comes
that's
out,
the
Kingdom
that
Hearts 3, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and hopefully it will bring it all back. You know, it'll become full circle. So I've always had a very weird, kind of an interesting relationship with Kingdom Hearts. So when 3
yeah.
comes out, hopefully this will bring it all back full circle. And
In all honesty, I've discussed it with other people, and they've all had interesting experiences. Like, do you think that that's what ultimately defeated you with Kingdom Hearts was the fact that it was alienated to all of these other platforms and nearly impossible to follow for people with a budget?
yeah, yeah. Like I said, for me, it was twofold. It was rechain. I had a bad experience with rechain of memories, and that's just my thing. And another thing too was that the fact that all the other games going on all the other consoles, that I just didn't have the budget. I mean, I wasn't. I'm sorry, I wasn't gonna rush out and buy a PSP and a Nintendo 3DS or a mobile phone just to play the next installment of Kingdom Hearts. I thought that was kind of BS. And like I said, Rechain of Memories. I'm sure it is a very good game. I will concede that. I know a lot of people love that game, and that's perfectly fine. But it just wasn't my cup of tea. So those two combination of things, and really maybe kind of drift away. And other series came along, and as the years went by, Kingdom Hearts I just kind of distanced myself from it. But with this, it definitely gets me excited again. It's kind of rejuvenating, and I kind of get the feelings of when I played Kingdom Hearts 2 and having so much fun going through that game. And like I said, Kingdom Hearts 2 is to me the best PlayStation 2 game I ever played.
In all honesty, Gene, you're not alone.
I think a lot of this here is kind of giving back those old memories and getting me excited again to jump back into this universe.
And honestly, you're not alone. I've talked to other people recently, today even, that pretty much said the same thing that you have. Like, they kind of distanced themselves away from it because they felt like, even though they saw the potential of it being a great series, which of course it is, but they couldn't follow it, and they were just like, well, I can't get all these consoles. I'm going to distance myself from it because there's no point. I can't I can't follow it. But one thing they have realized now, and it's not just because of Kingdom Hearts 3, and we're going to get into this, another trailer was released alongside Kingdom Hearts 3, which was Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD Remix, and they have all conceded that it is a brilliant thing that Square is doing, literally releasing every single Kingdom Hearts game on one platform, being the PS3, which was its home, which it was home with Sony. And probably the best thing they ever did was, like, a lot of people, even though they may like Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, it was pretty boring. There was a lot of people like really say that that game was boring. It wasn't technically bad given the technology and the ambitiousness, how ambitious the game was, but they love how the story actually was a lot better when it was turned into a movie. Because it eliminated all of the boring part of the game that was just nothing but level grinding and going through level and level after level, just trying to get to the good stuff, and made it all that more fun. And now they have another one coming out that has the rest of the story, so now people don't have to worry about being alienated.
It's smart
anymore.
marketing. It's smart marketing.
Huh?
Yeah, it's smart marketing. It's a real good decision by Square's part.
Yeah, it really is. Like, 'cause after alienating their audience, this is kind of like the their way of saying I'm sorry. And not only are they just giving you the entire series in in a collection, they're giving you the complete versions, being the final mixes, which we didn't get beforehand.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's a very smart and intelligent move on Square's part to get everybody into it. So yeah, it is basically like a really good way to kickstart the comeback for people who couldn't follow it. And you're not the only one. A lot of people who didn't follow it came out and said it. This has actually gotten us pretty excited because now we can follow it on one console and not have to be like
jump. Be like you're left out of the loop.
Yeah, definitely. And plus, with the inclusion of the movies that eliminate 20 hours or more of gameplay, it helps that even better. So yeah. Definitely exciting. I don't know how long it's gonna be until we see the next trailer, or how long it's gonna take for the title to finish. But there was a recent interview with the maker, Tetsuya Nomura, and he has pretty much gone out of his way to say that this will end the Xehanort saga. Kingdom Hearts 3 is the final showdown, However, there will be more Kingdom Hearts games, and Sora will still be the main protagonist. Not sure what to make of that. I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, I'd have been fine with closing the book on Kingdom Hearts 3 as the final chapter. But you know what? With good writing and a good sense and a good story, you can keep a series going forever. I mean,
Right.
look how long Smallville kept running.
True.
So yeah, with as long as you have good writing, you can keep the story going. So I give them the best of luck. If they can keep it going, by all means, keep it going.
I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah, guys, this is our analysis and somewhat review of Kingdom Hearts, the new trailer gameplay, as well as some insight on what has been going on with the collection and the series in general. If you have any thoughts, please comment below. We'd love to bounce ideas and see what's going on with this trailer. Are there hidden teasers in it? Maybe nothing at all. Maybe we're looking too deep into it and what we actually saw won't be there at all. So comment below, subscribe, and do all of that good stuff. Give us a thumbs up because we love you. See you next time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.